Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Black Hollywood Live's The Trend. I am your host, Dario Kristen, and joining me today is my co-host, Courtney Stewart.
Hi, what's up, everybody?
Courtney, you looking good? I like the new hair.
Thank you. Change it up. Got a little blue going on for the weekend, you know.
I couldn't tell if it was blue or purple, so it looks like purple.
It's like a violet. It's sort of bluish purple, depending on the light. You know what I'm saying?
I'm feeling it. That's all I know. I'm feeling it.
We had to do it up special for our fabulous guest we have this week.
That's right. We do have a great guest today. We got, I consider her the real queen of hip hop. Like she is definitely the queen of hip hop. DEB Antney is with us today. How you doing, Deb?
I'm good, sweetie. How are you?
Good. You looking good too. I see you. I see you with your blonde. Go ahead, blonde.
Thank you. I like that color too, Courtney. I was trying to figure out what color you had in your head also.
Thank you. It's a Bellamy unit, and I don't actually know the color, but I can send it to you.
It's a violet. It's a violet, and I like that.
Thank you, thank you.
I like
thank you. And I'm with you. I had a similar white blonde inches on yesterday, and I love yours. So you look great.
Thank you.
Y'all didn't compliment my hair. You know, I kept it, you know, tight today, just light, low and tight.
Oh, okay. But it still looks good, boo. It
You
looks
look good. You know, the chocolate skin is glowing. You good.
The chocolate skin is glowing. I got my orange background, so, you know, help it pop a little bit, you know. All right, we want to talk about all things hip hop today. We got this Hip Hop Uncovered that you were going to be talking to us about. And I mean, 6-part series premiered February 12th. I mean, let's just dive right in. Tell us all about it. Like what made this story so important for you to be a part of this and want to tell?
Well, the importance for me is that I got to tell my story before you told it, you know? And I actually became sick of people telling my story. I was like really tired of it. I'm sorry. I was really tired of people saying stuff that they did not. I'm so sorry. I have a full house here in my office. I'm opening the station back up, and everybody and their mothers is coming through. So we got a full house the entire day. Okay, so getting back without further ado. It was very important. I feel that we're in a state of emergency right now, okay? And I feel that we have an obligation to tell our stories. We have an obligation to let people know the real, because the stories are not being told right. If you look at what's going on right now with the kids that are out here, reality TV, the stories that they're telling, everybody's doing a lot of capping, okay? And a lot of kids today feel that you know, if I want to be big, I need to go to jail, okay, to come out here. And you have the women that's lost themselves and not really understand the real struggles and what hip hop is really about. And they need to understand that hip hop was not music. Although music was a part of it, but you told your story through music. You understand? So I feel that everybody should take out a pencil and pad and take notes. And the thing that I'm happy about is the amount of children that have approached me and talked to me, telling me that they watched it and what they've gotten out of it. And I thought this was like this, but I didn't know that this was like that, or coming to me, telling me something that they went through. So it's like, my question now is, what is your hip hop? Because when you hear people saying, do you feel that hip hop is dying, or do you think we're losing hip hop? Hip hop will never die, and hip hop will never be lost as long as there's the struggle, and we're still in a struggle. We are definitely in a state of emergency right now.
Yeah. Now, in dealing with deciding to do the documentary yourself, like you really gave it a lot. Like you gave us from
I really didn't.
On through.
Yeah, I know, but I really didn't. I really only gave like probably a quarter, if that much of me. They did not even get it. I gave enough to let them know that I'm there. If you notice that I didn't need validation from anybody. You know, it wasn't one of those stories that people done these stories and they have mountains of drugs and they holding guns and they doing a glorifying. I'm not glorifying anything, because I was so ashamed of half of the things that I've been through that this has been very therapeutic for me. I don't know about it. It's been therapeutic for me. So it wasn't something to be glorified, but I also wanted them to know that I made it, you can make it. You know what I'm saying? And especially for women, because I'm always hearing women talk about, those are male-dominated businesses, male-dominated. Look at father and look at brother. HER is at the ending. That's her. There is no brother, there is no father without us. And even you have mother, you got still her. That shows you we double there. That shows the importance of a woman. And that's what we're losing. That's why we're in a state of emergency, because we've lost our women, we've lost our sisters, we've lost our mothers. You understand? We've lost our real head of the households. We're losing them left and right. So yeah, it's important to stand up, because I feel that because I'm so pro-woman, that I have to stand up and say something. I need to now tell my story. It's dishonoring of me not to share some of my stuff.
But where did that power in you come from? That because you've been pro-women, like in the documentary, it talks about how from the jump, you were taking care of the women and making sure like they were protected in ways, and obviously moving in these male-dominated spaces, like you still moved the way you moved. Where did that power come from? Had it always been in you? Did you see it in your mom? Like, how did you feel?
My father. It was things that he placed in me that I did things that males did, but I was made to know that I was still a woman. And it was like, mainly because, you know, my mom knew how to be a mother and a wife. But my mom don't have a street life. My mother never drank, never smoked cigarettes. My mother never did party. My mom didn't do nothing. All she knew how to do was be a mother. She was really illiterate to all of the other stuff. My mom didn't know nothing. Stuff she learned it through her kids, really. You understand what I'm saying? That's all she knew how to be. And she did the best that she can do with us. You know, but my dad instilled so many things in me because I was the oldest. So I had to take care of everybody. You know what I'm saying? Especially when my mom was there alone. It's like working 3 and 4 jobs she was working. I had to become the head of that household until I left. You know what I'm saying? I had to make sure that everybody was okay. So it's always been something to me, and I like underdogs because I watch the way people treat other people, and mainly women. I didn't go for that. Here's the thing, growing up as a child, when we sat at a dinner table and every Sunday the family got together, we would go to my grandmother's and the whole family got together. But then we'd make a bet to figure out who was going to get the black eye that day. Because that's what I grew up with, watching the fights at the table and watching this. But I always knew that I was not going to become one of those women. I would just look. And I really wish you would try to do some stuff like that to me. I knew that I wasn't going to do it because it looked like it hurt then. And the first time that I learned something like that, I was 17 years old. And my first boyfriend, he punched me in my face. He literally gave me a black eye. Okay? And at first I thought it was love because I grew up thinking stuff like that. But when I felt that, it was like, what the hell? Like, and I went to my mother and I asked her, what did you get out of this? And I told her, I never want to beat you. And it started from that time. So the next time he tried to put his hands on me, we're not going to talk about that one now. I know I'm never going to go through that. And I'm never going to be disrespected by no man. I'm not standing for that. You're always going to respect me. I'm going to be respected, period. I could do what you do. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just as simple as that. And literally from that time, thank you for asking me that, because I've never shared that part of things. But this whole ordeal has been very therapeutic for me. I didn't care what people had to say. I don't care how people look at me now. I don't care about those things now. Before I was ashamed. I didn't want people to know these things. I didn't want them to know the dysfunctional things that went on in my household and the things that I went through as a child. But I would not be who I am today had I not have gone through those things. I do wish I would have learned how to do things differently, but you want to know something? I'm okay. I feel that I made it through and I am who I am. And this was in the book and this is who I was designed to be. So I'm okay with it.
What are some of those things that help you get through this circumstance, you know, and through those situations to make you even be the stronger woman that you are today?
You talk from back then or to now?
Let's go from back then to now.
Okay. So back then there was a lady and her name was Miss Mitty. And this lady, no matter what, had my back. whether she's sitting in the courtroom, whether I'm outside getting into something or whatever, she would always come. And I never understood, why are you here for me? And she said, one day you're going to learn. And I said to her, I'll never forget one day I said to her, I'm going to have a lot of money one day and I'm going to take care of you. She said, baby, the only thing you could do for me is give back what I gave you. And that was unconditional love that lady gave me. She never, ever said an ill thing to me. Never. She just always gave me love, something that I didn't really know. Affection wasn't that great for me. I didn't understand that really. You understand? So it was great what she did. And that's how I grew up here in Georgia. But I was an adult when I came to Georgia. I'm talking about I really became an adult and I really grew up when I came here because I understood, because I started facing me in different places. But I had a whole new beginning, all new opportunities. And then as time went on, I had children, of course. Well, I had children before I came to Georgia, but they've also motivated me and kept me going. So I knew I had somebody and something to live for, and there was things that I could no longer do, even though I was still cutting up a little bit. You feel what I'm saying? But I couldn't do things no more because now I had people that depended on me. So I don't have a choice. I have to do right. I have to motivate because failure is not an option.
You also, like, through the in the documentary, you talk about a lot of the loss that you had over the course of your life. What kept, because obviously, you know, you have the strength, you have the power, you're obviously brilliant because you've been able to navigate all of these spaces, but what kept your heart soft? Because with the amount of things you've been through and seen, just period, whether, I mean, from dark things that happen in the street or what have you, or just business practices in hip hop, what kept, because a part of you still is super nurturing and you take care of community in a whole huge way. Like, what kept you from getting hardened from all of those experiences?
I have some hardened spots, but at the end of the day, I love people, okay? And I love helping people. But I also promised God, when he got me out of something, I promised that I would never end up there again. And that's when she had to be buried. She had to be buried. We probably wouldn't be sitting here having a conversation right now. But I cannot allow certain things to get under me. You know, another thing that she taught me is nothing lives in your head rent free. It ain't paying you, it don't stay there. Those was the things that I was taught, okay? I was not a relative of sanitation. So therefore, you dump the garbage, you don't keep the garbage in your head. Sometimes I just might be telling somebody something because I need it up off of me. I need to get this up off of me and I'll throw it over on you. Simple as that. And failure is not an option. Those are my three things right there. And I stood on that and I kept those things in my head. So I can't. I'll weaken, but you won't see it. I have a room in my house right now that I have to sit on the floor sometime and talk to the man in the mirror. And now it's like, me, you need to have a conversation. I've learned to look at myself. I've learned to look at myself in my eyes. I can look. Not like, I don't even think you realize this. When you go home today, look in the mirror, right? But really look at yourself. Don't look at yourself to put makeup on or to comb your hair, but look at the person in the mirror. That was one of the hardest tasks ever. And I remember I learned that in school and I didn't realize that I never was looking at myself. And there's lots of people out there that don't really look at themselves. But repeatedly, I had to look in that mirror and tell her how much I love her. I had to do that. And I had to let her know that I love her. And it's okay. And one day, this will all just be a memory.
Listen, I'm speechless almost. I mean, you just dropped some knowledge there, and obviously hip hop has changed tremendously. And I know that you said we're in a state of emergency with that, but what would you say are some of the things that you're proud of now that hip hop has kind of morphed itself into? If anything.
Now, I don't know. I don't really know. Do you say we growing, but we're still not on top? You understand what I'm saying? I've also learned to curb my mouth. Like I don't like really doing a lot of interviews because I'm a realist. I say what you think. You think it, I say it. But then you want to come at me for saying what I said. And it's offensive to people. I don't know what I want to say that I love about hip hop right now. Because we're in a state of emergency. And that's how I look at it. Right now, I'm not liking a lot of things that are going on. And we have the power to change things. And we're not changing it. We became selfish. You understand what I'm saying? There's so many things that is happening now, being real, that's really not good. It's not. People can say what they want to say. We're losing our households. We're losing our children. We're losing our men. We're even losing our mothers, our sisters, our girlfriends. Like, we're losing too much. So I don't have a lot to tell you that I'm liking what's going on now. Social media came in and took over. It's not very much that I can sit here and tell you that I love today.
Well, some people would say that like hip hop was sort of born out of similar state of emergency, that like these, you know, the loss of families, the loss of the head of household, the loss of fathers, and the drugs running through the streets. Like, so what do you feel is so different now that maybe in the beginning, like that hip hop sort of became a beacon of light at one point?
Well, we could talk about things now. We could talk about things now that we couldn't talk about. Okay, I came up in a time that whatever went on in my household had to stay in my household. There are things now that people are much freer that they could talk about, but at whose expense? Now you're talking a little too much. There are things that we could talk about that changed from then to now, but at whose expense? You understand? There's still gifts and curses locked into that. People are so disrespectful today, it's pathetic. The things that they're doing today, what the advances that came about today, but look how they're using it. Again, to whose advantage? I'm still gonna, and not to be so negative about it, you understand? But it is what it is. It is what it is. And I guess I could say, like I was a product of my environment, they're a product of their environment. So what is it that I'm loving about it?
But okay, so but with that, how do you change it? You know, because listen, we're in a different, as we keep saying, you mentioned that we're in a state of emergency with hip hop, but now everyone it's all about even more the dollar, and it's about the, you know, the fame, and you know, all of those things that have always been a portion of hip hop, but now it's elevated to the next level. So do you think that people can actually really come back to what you think, what's in your mind of the sense of where it should be?
Oh yeah, listen, when you know better, you do better. The problem is we have no more OGs. See, I could be out the street doing something wrong and somebody could snatch me and check me, and it's okay. Now, these kids could go to IG and find out whatever they want to find out, and that's who raised them. That's who asked them, you answer their questions and their TikToks and all that other kind of stuff. There's no more villages out here. So you out with the old and in with the new, but did it really benefit us? What, to make money? It's evil. Even though we needed to live, it's evil. Look at the things that it make you do to get the dollar. I'm not saying nothing is wrong, and I love the fact that a woman might have never went to school and she could go out here and make $100,000 when she couldn't even make $100 for the year. You feel what I'm saying? It's giving you those opportunities, but at whose expense, sweetie? Still, they don't know any better. People don't know any better. Mentally, you're just not there. So you can look at this and look at the glam and the fames and all that other kind of stuff and say that this is great, but at whose expense? Somebody's still hurting for what you're doing. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I look at it all ways. I'm not knocking what you're saying, and I'm not knocking your view down. And I understand what both of you guys are saying, but still, I'm looking at the fact that we still have a problem here. And how do we make that better? How do we start making those changes in things? How do we start learning comfortability within our own skins? How do we as the people come together as one? How? We're powerful. We're very, very powerful people, but yet we stand alone. Every race could be together but our race. I'll go in and say, oh, that old ass bitch, she don't know what she's talking about. They'll say all kinds of things. They're not hearing. So everything falls on deaf ears and blind eyes. They can't see. Do you understand you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm really hoping that our show really start waking up people. And I know it's doing something because I'm approached by tons of kids. That's the ones that are important to me. There's tons of kids that are stopping me and having conversations.
What are they saying?
They're talking about, I didn't know that this was like that. I didn't know that person been through this. And I went through something like this in my house. Me discussing about ODing was big. I didn't realize that because a lot of people gave me a call and told me I would never tell nobody I went through something like that. But I'm going to tell you about something that happened to me one time. Mm-hmm. Do you understand how they was let go and the freedom that they might have? The things that you're able to discuss and talk about, what you've gone through could release somebody else and what they're going through? There's a lot that we went through. There was rumors that was said about people. And how well do people put rumors on people? You have to understand, this internet is the murder capital. Very easy for me to turn around, Courtney, and talk about you like a dog. Yes. And say, I just came seeing you coming from off the side of the building with whatever. And I spread that all through this internet. You can't never take that down. No. And I could be lying and I could get up and say, I was just mad that Courtney made me mad and I just felt like talking about her or say she didn't change her underwear for a whole week. Oh my God. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Or, oh wow, dog put blonde on the top of his hair and put a patch there and never moved it on. It'd be all over the place. And everybody will run with that and the headlines will change. Each headline will change and they say a whole bunch of stuff. But that's what's going on? I merely made a statement, even like I made a statement about Safari, not being malicious, because I love Safari. I wasn't being malicious, it's just what I felt at that time because of how Nikki was. Then I know what Nikki loved at the time. Well, the headlines went crazy with that. But there's 1,000 other hits that y'all could have went through inside of there to pull. But it's the negativity because you want to sell and you want numbers and you want to see numbers and you want to see these things. You can't pull the good out. You got to pull something there to try to hurt someone else. And that shows you we're in trouble because hurt people hurt people. When you're a journalist, you have an obligation to report the news to the people right. You don't change nothing. You don't do anything. This is why this stuff is so important because we shared so many things, how we was misrepresented by so many different people, all of us. And here's a show that we did from the East, the West Coast, the Midwest, the South. This show was done. Who ever done a show from all them states at one time and out of the country? Who did that? And it shows you that we were all the same people. And even though I was a woman, I still went through what they went through. It was pain. It's not comparison if I was sold drugs, or if I did this, or if I did a robbery, if I did a murder, if I did a this. We all went through something. We all had common denominators. We wanted to come up. And people, there were kids that seen that. It gave them hope. It let me know that I can be this person now and be that person tomorrow. Not the negative that people come up with. That's not entertainment when you're hurting people.
So true. So where do you see yourself in this land of entertainment, hip hop, what have you, in for the next few years of life? Just pulling, how do you pull the positive out for the next few years?
I'm gonna keep doing it. I have to find positive people. So as I'm finding the positive people, we'll do it. So if I get one person, my job is completed. If I get one person a month, one person every 2 months, once a year, however it is, I still fulfilled something. I'm not saying everybody's going to change. I ain't the gospel. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying everybody going to be there. But those that are there is beautiful. My job is done. But I'm not going to stop. You can't make me stop putting something negative up there or doing something negative or saying something negative. It's going to harden my heart and make me stop. I'm going to continue to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to be obedient. Today, I'm very obedient.
Do you see yourself looking at any of the younger, newer talents that are out there in hip hop and looking at them and saying, hey, you know what? I got my eye on them. That's somebody who can help change this game in a different way.
Yes. A lot of them that are out right now. A lot of them that are out right now. They have a lot of power. A lot. I have to stay away from people's names. You know what I know. They'll take this to the left field, and then they're gonna make me take it to the right field. It'll become something totally different. But there's a lot of them that I could sit here and tell you that I wish I could have my hands on them because they don't have gatekeepers. Do you understand? They have people that just want money. Don't really care about them and going to them next levels and all that. That's why when they get finished making their money off of you, they throw you to the wolves. Look at every artist that they throw out there that once upon a time, they was blowing smoke up their behind, kissing their behind, doing everything it is that they needed them to do. And then overnight, they flipped on them. Because you know why? Everybody has an expiration date. Everybody. I don't care who you are. There's an expiration date on you. Whether it's your time to die, whether it's your time to not do what you're doing anymore, whatever it is, there's an expiration date, and you better know that. Don't ever get so comfortable that you're there and nothing can ever happen to you. And then you got to look at us that make it so big. Look how we all go out. Ain't got a damn dime. Ain't getting no love. That you love me today and I'm all over plastered everywhere and you love me. And then when they say, this is it, lights out. They say one story and everybody start writing all this stuff up underneath there about me. And I ain't no good, and I ain't never been no good, and I did this and I did that, and this is how it is. That's why people need not get comfortable. See, I'm not gonna do dirt to you like that. Because I know when it comes back strong. Do you understand? I know what happens. So what goes around comes around. I'm hurting, but I'm not hurting to the fact that I want to hurt people. I don't need to do that. My pain is my pain. But it doesn't warrant me to get up and want to hurt you. I vicariously live through people. My happiness comes watching your smiles. If I can put a smile on your face, then you made me happy. I'm happy. Unfortunately, which sounds crazy, but it makes me happy to see you happy. My pain is a different kind of pain. That's my relative. I've been in pain my whole life. But it didn't make me go out there and hurt. It made me help because I seen me in some of everybody that I've done things for, the people that I do things for. It's something about me that's in you that you don't even know the healing that you're giving me. So it just makes it just that easy.
Do you have any desire or plans to really tell your entire story, whether on film or in a book or anything?
I'm actually writing, I have 2 books. One is Woman to Woman, and the other one is Unmanageable Me. I just didn't put them out yet because I'm not finished. There's so much stuff that goes on that I keep going back and forth, but I'm definitely going to do that. And I don't know about its entirety because there are things that I want to carry to my grave with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
Everything's not to be told. You can't tell everything, huh?
I said, fair enough, but we'll take any more, because I will just tell you that even my little bit of experience of knowing about you previously was mostly through Love and Hip Hop, and your son Waka, and we interviewed.
We interviewed him,
Tammy a couple. It's been like 2 years now at this point.
2 years now, yeah.
But watching this documentary and hearing your story, you are correct. It's a testimony, regardless. That
right. It doesn't matter. That's why. Yeah, it doesn't matter what the people say. No. I know what I'm getting out of this, and I know how I feel, and I just love them for allowing me to be a part of this. You know what I'm saying? Even though I didn't even want to touch this, I gave them hell. I didn't want to do this. Like, I ain't got no pictures to show y'all. I don't have no nothing. I came up at a time, you ain't telling on yourself. Ain't no picture, take it. Yeah. Ain't no nothing. I don't know you. Like, all of these things. So it's different for me, and it's still a little uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. So, but it's comfortable for me to talk about me. I can't talk about you, but I can talk about me. Yeah. That's comfortable for me. And that's what I like. Even my book. You need to tell a story this one. You need to tell a story that one. For what reason? Why am I going to talk about that? Let me talk about me. I'm more interested. Let's talk about me. I can talk about me better than I can talk about you. Let's do that. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. Well, we'll take it. All the more stories, whatever we can get, we'll take some more.
Y'all got a whole nother interview out of me. You know what's funny about this? Every one of y'all, some people I've sat with, I had no comfortability. Mm-hmm. So they got nothing out of me because I could feel their spirits through this little thing right here. And others made me say things that I felt that not even just for me, but it might have been something that they needed to hear. You understand?
Yeah.
So it was a little different. I went to a field, like I've said things to y'all that I ain't never said on none of the shows. You understand? And that's crazy. But it's just something in my spirit that I feel that I just needed to say.
Well, we receive it.
We receive it and appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we really appreciate you being so honest with us. A lot of people give the surface answers, but you went in, and and people need to know. And if you could have one thing that you really want, I know once again, I keep reiterating this, that we're talking about the state of hip hop currently and how you feel the state of emergency of hip hop. But if you could take one thing that you want everyone to take away from this doc, what would it be?
That if I could do it, you could do it.
I love it.
I feel like you just dropped the mic. I'm like,
we can all praise to God.
I think that's very important, that failure is not an option. And that's just it. Failure is not an option. Just stay true to yourself. That's it.
I mean, yeah.
Rarely do we get left a little bit speechless, but literally it's just like, I feel like I just, had a little sermon, church service. Praise the Lord.
Like, hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Thank you. Thank you.
This was kind of filling for me with you guys. I don't know what it is, but it's something there that made me feel different. And everybody makes me feel different that I sit there with. But some stuff is so repetitive, it's pathetic, and I get sick of doing these interviews. But this time here, I felt I wasn't repetitive, and I gave you guys something that other people didn't get.
We appreciate that.
Hope, I want to tell you to give you your flowers, because what you have done and what you have created and shared, and we've all benefited from and had no idea in many cases. And so I just want to say and hope that you know we are grateful for you and your talent and work that you put in, because you have been a part of making the culture what it is today.
Thank you. Thank you.
You look too pretty to cry. Don't you cry.
I know it touches me sometimes. Like sometimes it just touches me, but you work very hard at stuff. You take a lot of hits, and I know for me, I've taken tons of hits for people, tons of hits. I think that's what made it easy to do this now, because I don't want to be a punching bag anymore. I don't want to be the butt of your jokes. I don't want you telling lies on me. I have grandkids, I have kids, they're affected by that when they hear people make up stories and say different things, or if they say something, she ain't never do that, or she didn't do this, or people they even put rumors out that, she's only doing this because of her son. They never knew nothing about me. They think that everything was about Walker. And Walker wasn't even my only child in entertainment. My first son was bigger than Walker. You understand what I'm saying? But nobody ever knew that. They all think that he's my only child until my son committed suicide. Then they say, oh, okay. Then now I only just have them 2 kids. They don't even know. They just make up all of these stories. And he sent me this big old article that this man wrote. And I said, where did he get this stuff from? And he said, Ma, that's why you cannot keep sitting down and don't say nothing. You have to say something. He was so heated when he read this interview. He was pissed. And I said, well, where did he get these stories from? Like, where did he get this stuff from? And I said, oh, forget it. And then they got mad at me. My sons all got mad at me. And they was like, Ma, you're going to keep letting people just do this and you don't say nothing. It's easy for me to say something, but it's hard to get my ass out of it because of what might go into it. Do you understand? So you have to learn to just walk away from things and say, give them a pass. Leave it alone. Just go. Just go. Some people just need validation and they going through that, so they don't have enough numbers or they don't have whatever. And this is what they have to do. So I let it go. She's rested easily. She never needs to be woken up.
Well, for fans and people who want to know more about things that you have coming out, and if you decide to release any more stories that we all can benefit from and know.
Oh, I'm going to do something like I'm doing a podcast now. I'm about to start my podcast, probably the end of the week. I'll be doing it. And one is just for women. And then I'm going to do another podcast where it's opened up where I can interview men and women, because I had a lot of guys that was like really pissed off at me. Like, oh, you're not letting us on your platform. You with this woman thing, So I'm going to do 2. So Bistro just left. And we're going to sit down and, and get that together. So B100, which is my radio station, BE100 Radio. I have an app on Android and the iPhone that they could go on. They can learn things from there. Also, DEBRA, the number 4, MIZAY. That's Deborah for Mosaic. That's my Instagram. And of course, Deborah Anthony for, Facebook and the rest of the stuff. And the official Deborah Anthony website.
Courtney, what about you?
I'm just, all over social media at Stuart Starlet, and make sure you guys follow us at @we_are_the_trend on Instagram and on YouTube and all those places.
And you can find me all over social media under Dario Kristen and on Entertainment Tonight Live, and doing more great interviews like we had today with Deb, because I feel very knowledgeable right now. A lot,
Yeah.
and you got to come back. You got to come back.
Definitely. Just invite me back. I'm there. I appreciate you too, because y'all two put some calmness in. I don't know. That was really, really good. I really appreciate that. But y'all put me in a different zone.
Sure. Well, we appreciate you.
Yeah, you really did. I'm so serious. Like the level of comfortability I had was crazy. It was really crazy. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you for telling the story and for letting the world know the story. or part of the story, I should say.
There's parts.
Because this is only a part, I know.
And y'all make sure y'all check out the stories, okay? On FX, check it out. It's
and Hulu. It's on Hulu.
On Hulu, yes, it is all up, guys. Check it out. Those episodes you will be wowed and inspired and amazed at all the things that have gone down. So check it out.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks for having me.
Next time.